You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You push play and they'll push the limits.
Hey, it's your boy Tom here, and we are back with another episode of the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast. And look at Gary celebrating Juneteenth. Got a do-rag on.
Not a do-rag.
I didn't know.
You can see my hair over here.
I didn't know if that was like
It is a headband.
a nod to Juneteenth or what. But I was just.
It is a headband.
I didn't know. What is that, Gary?
It's just a headband, you know. I got to give a little shout out to Taylor, Tate, and Dave. As you can see, we got a little Bigfoot action walking around here in the woods.
Oh, I thought that was you, Gary.
Nope.
I
I'm
thought
not that big, but
I just thought you just got a. You know what? I'm just.
no. You know, I still got all this long hair back here. So when I try to golf or if I'm cleaning around the house or doing outside work, trying to do something out there, my front hair in the front's not long enough, so I can't keep it out of my eyes with a hat on either. So I ordered these things, and you know they're doing well. I had the one that we originally had from the Amazing Race, a Lululemon one that I brought on the race. I never really had a chance to wear it, and I used that, but I gave that to my dad, and I ordered a couple of these.
Okay. All right, man. You live your best life, Gary.
Oh,
I
that's all
don't
I
let
can
nobody
do,
tell you anything different, bro.
Never.
That's what I'm saying. But I really feel it's Juneteenth colors and everything. So it's really weird that the colors and
literally
everything kind of match.
It's
But
literally
you're
big.
saying that it has nothing to do with that. It's cool, bro. If you want to celebrate your 1%, man, it's cool.
It's 1.5. Can you at least get it correct?
Okay. I'm just saying.
Did Gary call you on Juneteenth, D'Angelo?
He did not call me, and he did not receive my
So
phone
hold on.
call.
I FaceTimed him, but he just ignored me. It's like he didn't want to talk to me.
No. He was you calling me to tell me Happy Juneteenth?
I was just calling to say hi, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know Tom called you to wish you happy Juneteenth.
I don't believe that.
100% he did. He
I don't believe that
100%
for a
did.
second.
No, he 100 he did because he was the reason I called you because he set me up for it. That's how I know I called him.
And just to clarify, we got a little Good Burger shirt going on. So another day, another victory for this guy over here, overtime. You know.
Hold on. First of all, we got to show off to Michael Scott.
Yeah, we can say who wins. Who wins, D?
See, I mean, I know Good Burger.
Oh, see, I'm not an Office fan. I'm a Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I
That's
take
true.
your order?
Everybody is. That's the thing.
Hey, here's my question though, Gary. Who put you on the place where you got those shirts that you've been?
I just Googled something like cool shirt. That's why.
Lying ass.
You don't get no credit, my friend.
Right. Let's get the podcast back on track.
All right,
How
so
was your-
I'll give credit. The person that put me onto it was my friend named BT. So Tom, I can't give you any credit, but my buddy BT put me on it, so I can't even give you the credit.
Dang, you're gonna do that? Just give credit away to someone else. All right, I see how it is.
Got to.
Well, how was your weekend, fellas?
I got a question before we kick off how our weekends, because this question that popped up in my mind and it's very fresh and I really want to get it off, and we're on the heels or we're past Father's Day. And obviously everybody know that it was Father's Day weekend and it's not wellly or thoughtly celebrated, in my opinion. But my question is this. Is it okay? You know what? Go ahead, Gary. I'm gonna let you talk about what you did this weekend.
Lead us into all of this, and then you just. Sorry, guys.
I'm
We're
gonna
let
leave.
Gary go.
Yeah. Give you a little. Hey, wet that little throat of yours, and make you get hungry and want it. I'm gonna let you go first, Gary, and then I'm gonna finish that question that I started.
Well, I had family in town, so they're still here right now. So that's been my weekend. Haven't really done much else other than that. So it's always good to have family and see family. So that's my normal weekend.
Okay, so back to mine.
And back to your question, mute. That's how much I want to hear your question, because you're trying to make us salivate and wait for your thing. Because you decided to do that, I decided to mute you just to make you wait longer. Because I know you were excited about it, so I couldn't let you live up to that. So I'm going to let you have to wait it out a little bit longer. So, Time, how was your weekend?
Wow, you just gonna do that, man, like that?
He did to me first. I'm just repaying it.
Okay, it's true. It's true. Well, I mean, I had a great weekend. Got to go to a wedding. Got to see my sister get married. So it was a blast. We went back to Arkansas. I know D'Angelo knows a little bit about Arkansas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good time. I'm ready. I got some questions about Father's Day but we'll move that later into the podcast. D, go ahead and give us your question now.
Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay, so I had a very good time this weekend, which I didn't absolutely do anything. I just kind of sat and chilled, watched some Hell in a Cell, but I know we're not talking wrestling, so I guess we'll talk about that next week. But anyway, as I was sitting there, I was thinking, because I had a barrage of, and I'm pretty sure, Tom, you've had a barrage of texts coming through wishing you a happy Father's Day, right?
Right.
I got a bunch of those too. So my question is it ever okay to text Happy Mother's Day or Happy Father's Day to your ex which you don't share kids with? You know that they got kids, but you don't share kids with them. Is it okay for you to text them and wish them a happy Father's Day or a happy Mother's Day or a happy birthday for that matter?
So I think that depends on if you still have a relationship, like a friendly relationship with that person. If you're still on friendly terms, then yeah, it's completely fine. But if you don't talk to the person or anything like that, and you didn't end on friendly terms, and no, it's not. But if you still have a relationship with that person, they're still a friend or somebody you still consider close or whatever, then yeah, I think it's completely fine and it's good to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, especially if you don't have kids with them, and because you probably don't have a relationship with them if you have kids with them. I mean, if you do, that's interesting. But
right. I don't know what the hell Gary talking about, but I'm go ahead, Tom. You go ahead and speak the truth, brother. You go ahead and tell me. You speak your truth, and you tell me, is it ever okay? If it is, when? If it's not, why? I want to hear you, Tom, because Gary on he living in the fantasy world.
Well, my thing is, if you have a relationship with your ex, then it's got to be some extenuating circumstances already. So that if you do and you already are texting, fine, whatever. But if you don't have any type of relationship, y'all aren't texting, and it's even especially if it's not your kids, I'd say. But like you're reaching out to your ex, it almost seems like you're looking for a bad time. You're looking for a bad time. You text your ex. Because what it seems like is just an excuse to talk to them. You're like, oh, it's almost like, hey, you, what you doing?
That's exactly what it's like, Tom. So I don't know what the hell Gary is talking about.
He literally said exactly what I say. He says, if you have a relationship with them, then it's all right. If you don't, then it's not. That's exactly
what I said. What he was saying was you shouldn't have a relationship with them. Even if you don't have kids, what type of relationship are you trying to have with them? It's like you saying what he just said was, hey, how you doing?
Right.
If you have a relationship with them, if you're still friends, there's plenty of people that are friends with their exes.
That's not what he's saying, Gary. He's
saying, what he said.
Why would you have a relationship with somebody that you don't have kids with in order to tell them happy Mother's Day, Father's Day, or happy birthday? What kind of relationship are you trying to hold if you've already moved on?
Tell him Happy Father's Day.
Say what?
I don't have a relationship with my brother. Like, we're not dating or nothing, but I say Happy Father's Day. I would say Happy Father's Day to you. I'd say Happy Father's Day to BT. That's a friendship.
But you're not having sex with your brother, though.
I wouldn't be having sex with my ex either.
No, you would, but explain that to the person that you currently now sleeping with then.
No, I'm saying there are people out there that are friends with their exes, though. Like some guys and girls both are friends with their exes, and I think if you're still friends with them and your significant other's fine with it, and it's all, then yeah, you have the right to say Happy Mother's Day, Father, if they're a mother or a father. I'm not saying you go out of your way to do it, because I personally don't believe you should be friends with your exes. But there are people out there that are friends with their exes. I do not believe you should be.
Whoa, Gary, are you serious?
I truly don't believe you should be. They're an ex for a reason. They shouldn't be your friend. We've had this conversation. I truly believe if they're an ex for a reason. There's no reason to be friends with them.
Okay. All
But
right.
again, there are people out there that don't think that way. They're friends with their exes, and other people are fine with it. And that's the case. Then it's fine to say Happy Mother's Day or Father's Day or Happy Birthday if you're still a friendly relationship with them. If you still keep in touch and all that kind of stuff. There are people out there that like that.
Wow.
It's not me, but
That's interesting. So we go to a place to eat for dinner. We go get wings and stuff, and we just chill kind of for Father's Day. So it wasn't anything like extravagant or big or anything like that. That question popped up in my head, and I was like, is it ever okay to reach out to somebody that was your ex, regardless of relationship? Like, you know that they're a mom and you know that they're a dad, and you tell them, Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day, also within that, or like Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas for that matter, whatever potential special day it is, you reaching out to them to say something to them. Like, even if it's your ex, Gary, and they had lost a family member and you was thinking about them and like, oh snap, like this is about that time where they lost a family member, you just reach out and say, hey, I'm thinking about you on this day, blah 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 blah. Is that
no,
that's going too far?
I
That's just
wouldn't do
going too
that.
far, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I don't have a, like, if I believe if you have an ex, you don't need to be friendly with them anymore. There's no reason. There's an ex for a reason. So there's no reason to keep a relationship because it's going to affect every future relationship because you had a relationship with that person before. But there are people out there that don't think that way. So if they have a relationship with them, then it's completely fine. So that's why I see how you can still say yes, Happy Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever, to an ex, but that's because of the relationship you might still have. Do I think you should? No, because I don't think you should have that relationship.
Okay. So within that, since we are talking about Father's Day and what we did this weekend, I want to kind of stay along that theme. I have a friend, very close friend, brother, family member, sister, mother, uncle. It's one of them. I'm trying to protect them. That I refuse to say Happy Mother's Day or Happy Father's Day, and I know they got like a hell of kids, but they've never been that mother or father to the kid that they needed to be. It was more so like a sperm donor, and like hasn't did anything up until this point, like, and don't care about doing anything. So I refuse to the point now where I'm very particular on who I say Happy Mother's Day and Happy Father's Day to. I mean, as you can see, I hadn't said Happy Father's Day to Tom yet because I don't know him as a father. The pictures look cool. I don't know what they doing behind the scenes. So because I don't know what he doing behind the scenes, I'm not wishing him a Happy Father's Day. That kid could be having the worst time of his life. I don't know that. I don't know. Tom could be a terrible father. And for me to let him know, like, hey, man, you're doing a great job. Happy Father's Day could be me stoking the fire on this kid having a horrible lifestyle. So until I see for myself that this kid is having a great time, I can't wish him a Happy Father's Day because I don't know what type of father he is.
Savage out here, D'Angelo.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're a good father, Tom, from what I've seen through
Right.
your social media posts and stuff like that. Context clues, the kid look happy, but I don't know what it look like when the camera's off.
Right, exactly.
So we actually had this conversation, I believe, already when we were talking about Mother's Day. But
Yeah.
I can understand that aspect that I don't think people should get, because it's the same thing with the realm with animals. You don't get Mother or Father's Day if you're a parent of an animal. Just like if you're not in your kid's life and you don't have a active role where you don't see your kids, you spend time with your kids, you should not be given the Mother or Father's Day role because you're not in their life. You're not doing anything to help your kids. That is reserved for people that are actually in their kids' lives and doing things to help their kids.
I got a question for you guys. It kind of deals with all of this. And I'll start with you, D'Angelo. I've been seeing an influx of memes this Father's Day season where it's talking about the single moms that make Father's Day about them. I wanted to get your take on those single mothers, D'Angelo. Do you think that they should be able to say that they play both roles? Or is it one of those things where it's like, hold up, Stay in your lane. Let the dads enjoy this. You got Mother's Day. Where do you fall on that issue?
I fall on this a little bit of both. I don't think that there's a woman out there that could fill the role of a man's shoe, and I don't, and on the vice versa, I don't think there's a man out there that could fill a woman's shoe. So let me make sure I make that clear and make sure I say that first. So moving forward, there's a lot of people out there that have quote unquote daddy issues as well as mommy issues. So no matter how much you do for a kid and how much you feel as if you're taking the role of the other parent, you're not, because there's a reason why that role is played, and it's played by a certain number of people. Even when stepdads or stepmothers they step in, it's still not the same as having your biological, because it let us know that everything was in order when we were had and everything went according to plan. And when they don't, but again, I used to like text women back in the days and wish them a happy Father's Day, those single mothers that I knew, my friends and stuff like that, happy Father's Day, because you're doing the job of both parents. And then it hit me like a ton of rocks, because I didn't have a father in my life. So because of me not having a father in my life, I know the issues that I dealt with. And I'm only speaking from the experience that not having a father. You know what I'm saying? My mom tried to play both roles, be there, wear herself thin to make sure that she was every place she needed to be when I had something that I wanted to do. So I completely understand it, but it's nothing like having your father sitting there cheering you on, the one that decided that he didn't want to pull out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all process that one. Y'all had to process that one. He had to process that one.
He just had that whole insightful
And then he had it like that.
And then he's ended like that. Lord have mercy. That is D'Angelo fashion right there.
So I would say, like, with that aspect, I think if you want to say you get Father's Day too, then you should have no problem if men want Mother's Day as well if they're a single father. Because there's single fathers out there too that are doing the same thing. So then, as long as you're fine with everybody getting Mother's Day and Father's Day with males, I think it's whatever. If a woman deserves Father's Day as well, especially if they are doing both sides of the role, they're going to try to do both sides as much as they can. And I think so. I think it's reasonable to think they can, but I think if they have a man in their life, or if a guy has a woman in his life, or whatever the situation be, if you have somebody in your life that's helping you, then no, you can't say I want Father's Day too when there is another male in the life of the kids. Whether it's not the father or not, they are in that role of father, that aspect. So I think you can't take both mothers and fathers, or fathers and mothers, if there's another of the that could help with that role in this relationship with you.
Right, and I can hear that because I'm in kind of in a similar boat as you, D'Angelo, where I grew up without my father, so my mom played both of those roles. So I can definitely understand the single mom that says that. But it's like, to me, it's like you said, Gary. It's like I don't see as much from the guys, the single dads, that maybe there's just not as many single dads, and so
it sounds like you playing the role of both parents right now as we speak.
I'm just kidding. Trying to keep the baby calm. I love you. It's like, it is. He heard you saying something about me maybe not being a good dad. That's got him all messed up.
Oh, and see, I was just on the verge of wishing you a happy Father's Day, and your son go and ruin
it. You see what you're doing to me, buddy? Say, look, you're upsetting him. You're upsetting him, D'Angelo. Well, D, how about this? How about you ask us the question you had for us, and I'm gonna try to take care of him real quick.
Okay. So, Gary, I had this question for Tom, and I I feel like it's a serious conversation that we need to have because I think it happens all over the world. I don't know how frequently it happens. I kind of want to know, but I kind of don't want to know. But when you go over to your friends and family house and you spend a night and you take your girl with you, is it ever okay for you to have sex at their house?
Yes, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do it at your house if they stay there. But I think part of it depends on like how long are you staying. If you're there for a night, no, you don't have to. If you're there for a week or two, yeah, whatever.
It's all on timing.
I think it's on timing because if you're there for a week and a day and you can't go a day without it, then there's a boundary. Now, if you're there for a week and they invite you for a week or something, because I'm pretty sure most people are going to be fine with that. And it also depends on the term of your relationship. If you're at the beginning of a relationship, you're probably going to be more likely to do it. If you're been in a relationship for 15 years, you probably won't be as likely to do it because you're going to have a little more boundaries you're going to want. But when you're new in a relationship, you don't have those boundaries.
D, how long you been in a relationship?
Go ahead, Gary. You finish, bro. You finish.
No, I'm just saying, like, so I think depends on how long you were at that, if you're visiting. It's like if you're visiting some, like, example, if we were visiting time for a day. If you were visiting time for a day, I don't think you would. But I think if you're there for a week or two, yeah, you're probably going to do it at least once. You're not going to want to go to a hotel just to do it. If you're visiting a buddy's house or they invite you, I think that's something. If you invite somebody to stay for a certain amount of time, that could be a possibility. Unless you lay ground rules and say, hey, you better not do that or whatever, then you can't say anything. They're adults.
Okay, so with that being said, why would you lay boundaries? I'm
not saying you should. I'm saying some people might want them if they don't want that to happen. Then that's all. If you don't want it to happen, you need to say that. Otherwise, they're going to do what they're going to do.
I'm gonna tell you, I came up with this question because I feel like whether it's 7 days, 4 days, 3 days, 1 day, 2 day, like you're grown. Obviously, if you allow a pair to stay at your house, you got to accept the fact that, hey, they may have sex in the room that I'm letting them stay in. So you can't be upset if they do have sex. Okay? I just want to make sure we make that all clear, ladies and gentlemen that listen to us, that it's okay if you do that. Here's the problem that I have. Not letting us know by, hey, just simply bundling up the sheets and stuff and saying and bringing them back and say, hey, I slept on this. I'm giving them to you so you can wash them. That kind of let us know, like, oh, okay, y'all probably did some of these. I need to wash these sheets. I would think that if you had company over your house in the first place, that after they leave, you're going to wash the sheets regardless.
Correct.
Out of respect for the next company that's going to come over and sleep on those same said sheets. Right? So it was an interesting conversation, but this is how I came up with it. I went to go visit Romeo the other day. Can't really think of what day it was. And we go order some donuts, and we're in the car. And I grab a donut, and I take a bite. And he was like, hey, bro, no eating in my car. And I was like, what? If you don't shut the fuck up, I'm eating in this car, bro. I'm 38 years old. I'm not 12. The hell you mean no eating in your car? If you got dumb rules like that for grown people, don't invite them to nothing. Is that not the dumbest shit ever, Gary? He said, no eating in my car. Bro, I ate that donut and the next one too. I was like, you go, what? Then don't give me a ride anymore.
We're also talking about the... Go ahead. Yeah, what kind of car?
It was it's an Audi SUV, the new one.
Still doesn't matter. But but again, we're talking about the Godfather that doesn't even let the kids come visit his house. So I can't give you much credit there.
Yeah, and that's what he said, bro. He was like, bro, no eating in my... He was serious too, bro. I stopped and I looked at him with the serious face, and I was like, bro, you're kidding me, right? He goes, no, bro, I don't let anybody eat in my car. And I looked back at this guy and said, well, shit, you gonna watch me eat this donut today?
So my question, does he eat in his car?
I don't know. I didn't even get to that point, bro. Yeah. But you don't give grown people a ride and then tell grown people you can't eat in my car.
Well, especially if you get donuts and you're in the car with them at that time, or any kind of food. Most people, if you get fast food or any kind of food, they're not waiting until they get home to eat something. That's just not going to happen.
It's 2021, Gary. If you're an adult and you're grown, then I don't think that the only thing that should really apply to you are laws, and you need to make sure you abide those as close as you possibly can. But as far as me getting in your car and you telling me, hey man, you can't eat in my car, and I didn't even ask him the reason. None of that fucking mattered to me at that point. I was like, you're telling a grown man, like I got in here and I could make a choice on whether or not I could put my seatbelt on and save my life or leave it off. Are you gonna tell me I can't eat in your car? That doesn't. There's no safety issue with that. You just so first of all, you just called me a nasty person. So I get in your car, you tell me I can't eat. You're afraid I'm gonna drop something, so you calling me messy. So now I'm offended by that. I'm reliving this all over again, and it's making me mad. But he was dead ass serious, bro. Who has rules like that for adults? That's stupid, Gary. That's like you coming over your house and having to sign a fucking waiver. It's stupid. It's stupid.
So Michael, did you drop anything?
I did not drop anything, and I ate two donuts.
So that's my thing. Like, okay, I can understand. Okay, if you want to make that rule, it doesn't make sense. But like as the other adult in the car, I think you as a person, like if you made a mess, you would clean it up. I think that's the only that's the reason. Like if you drop something, you'd probably clean it up. You're not going to leave it, especially if you know he doesn't. Like if the car's clean. Now if the car's dirty and you drop something, okay, you might not clean it up because hey, it's dirty already. But if it's clean, he keeps it clean. I think you would clean it up. I don't think you would leave it. But again, I agree. You should not have. I don't think I will never have a rule. Hey, you can't eat or drink in my car. It doesn't make sense.
So you agree that it's a stupid rule?
Yes, I do. I do agree.
Well, my question is, D, if say you drop some jelly from that donut and it stains his seat to where it can't come out, are you paying to get his seat reupholstered?
First of all, Tom, let's make sure we address this. He has a fucking dog, okay? So a dog that he hauls around in said SUV. So with you saying dropping this jelly and staining this, which is far-fetched, one, because I don't eat jelly donuts, but even if I did, it would be strawberry, and I wouldn't drop it because that's the most important part of that donut.
That is the true statement.
But I'm not even going to talk about that, though, because you said if I dropped it. So in the event that I did drop it, I would clean it up, and if I couldn't and it stained, then and I couldn't clean it up where it stained, he can't see the stain. So either way, I win.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, though, if you say you did any type of food and you end up messing up his car, are you paying to get it reupholstered? It's kind of like that whole situation where you talked about if you're moving and somebody breaks something, is your friend gonna be willing to fix your car where they mess it up because they wanted to eat? So maybe he's just not trying to take any chances that you're gonna be that friend that ain't gonna come out of pocket for this, this repair. And so instead of testing the boundaries of y'all's friendship by what might happen, he's just being equal to all and saying, you know what? Nobody's eating in my car.
Tom?
His dog eats in the car.
Tom, I don't give a fuck what you say or anybody else say. In the event that you offer to give me a ride or allow me in your car, because I'm not gonna just be like, hey man, let's take your car. I mean, not let's take your car, just force you to do something. If I be like, hey man, can you pick me up from the airport or you go somewhere or do this? Just know that there's no rules that apply to me once you pick me up, other than the fact that I'm not going to mess your car up. Okay? Because this is what I told him. I said, you could tell me, no, I can't eat in your car.
For sure. You can't say that for sure. Accidents happen.
You absolutely right. And I also can't tell you that he can't mess his own car up by driving it and side swiping something or hitting something. You're absolutely right. He has every full right to tear up his own car. But in the event that I get in your car, whether it's you, Tom, whether it's Gary or somebody else, and I get in there with a Happy Meal or whatever kind of meal you want to call it, I'm going to eat that. I don't give a fuck who you are, because I'm not going to wait till I get to the house because you don't want me eating in your car. It's a stupid rule for all adults. That's so stupid. Like lifeguards at Olympic swim meets. Stupid as hell. Makes no sense. So, with that being said, I'm letting everybody out there know, including you, Gary, including you, Tom. If y'all have any fucked up rules that y'all want to tell me right now, let me know, because we can end this friendship right now.
I'm good. I care less.
I hate you, Tom. You trying to get me going, man. I was so mad
I
at him,
want to.
bro, because he was serious. Like you know how when you just like I took the first bite and he was like, bro, no, there's no eating in my car, and I'm like, bro, stop fucking around. I took another bite, and he was like, bro, I said no eating in my car. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm finna eat 2 donuts now.
So how did it go eating the second donut? Did he keep commenting?
No, he stopped. And he was mad too, to the point where his girl grabbed one and she started eating one. She was like, I don't know why he has that rule in the first place. And it let me know you was
Wow.
abiding by the rule until I broke it.
See what happens? That's what happens when you let one person, have some insurrection out here. You just create a
Here he
whole
go
wave
with this
of
shit. Here he
revolution.
go with this
Now,
shit right here.
now this man ain't even got respect from his own girl and his own vehicle no more, all because you stepped in there and ate a donut, 2 donuts, and you like, oh, fuck this rule. I ain't worried about your damn rules. So now this man can't set no boundaries in his own home no more because of you, D'Angelo. You see what this is? You have created a wave that's going to, it's like a butterfly wing flap that's going to turn into a tsunami, and you started it. And that's all because he just wanted this one rule to be followed: no eating in his car. And that's what you did. That's supposed to be your best friend.
Bro,
That's supposed to be your best friend.
Tom, I'm finna tell you something. I got a rule. There's no kids allowed in my boom boom room, which is my basement. Every day there's kids in my basement, bro. They don't care
Right.
about my room.
You don't-
They don't.
That's because you don't enforce it.
I do enforce it, but I can't stop them. I can't stop them at all.
Hold on, let me clarify this. He says he enforces it, but he has the indoor roller coaster down there for them. He has pinball machine for them. He has all this stuff for them to play down in the basement, but they're not allowed down there. Explain that to me.
Yeah, well, I'm just, but that's my whole point, though. That's my whole point. This is very similar to what I'm saying with this.
Kids down there. Why do you have this Neverland of play toys down there for them to go play with?
That's just like me saying, well, if you don't want me eating in your car, why do you pick me up at lunchtime?
Right. Well, you're right, but I'm saying you could wait till you get home to eat.
You know, the chances of anybody waiting to not eat their fast food until they get home, that's the reason for fast food. You're telling me you can sit in the whole car, you pick up food, and you're just going to take you 20 minutes home, you're not going to touch one fry? Get out.
Fries. If there's fries, I'll grab a fry. I don't trust someone. If you order from a place that gives you fries and you get fries and you don't reach in that bag and grab at least 2 to 3 fries straight out the gate when you first get them, I don't trust you. You're a serial killer. Because that's what you're supposed to do. And if you have a girl that's in the passenger seat that says she don't want any fries, you're supposed to order double fries, or you ain't gonna have any fries by the time you get home. There's rules out here.
But that's eating in the car though. So you also, based on what you just said, that you wouldn't follow that rule and not eating in the car either.
I'm saying is I don't personally have a rule of no eating in the car.
No, but if you got in a car and somebody says you can't eat it, but he brought you to get fast food and you get fries, you're not eating a fry?
No, I'm gonna stick my head out the window, grab a fry out of there.
You're still eating in the car.
I'm gonna say
you gotta take your whole body out the car.
To me that you would even try to abide by that rule. Like they just got to know that me eating in the car comes with picking me up.
Well, he ain't gonna pick you up no more.
I'm cool with that.
You might be
I know who to call and who not to call. I get. Look, no, I don't ride with them. I'm not. It ain't going to impact our relationship in terms of how much we talk or how much we hang out. It's just going to impact it from a standpoint of I'm never riding with you because I'm always hungry and I always got snacks. I'm always pulling them out of somewhere, like especially when I travel.
That's what happens when you have kids. You always got to have snacks on you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not going to not eat them. Like we got a rule in our car too. No eating. But guess what? When we hungry and we go out, we eat in the car.
Well,
that's just what it is.
But that's the thing is like, but what I'm saying is like, if you got a rule and you really want to abide by that rule, you have to enforce it across the board, or nobody's going to take you serious. So that's why, I don't know why he has this rule. Maybe we have to bring him on, or maybe you can talk to him on Toxic Tuesday.
I only have one rule at my house. One rule. And even if D'Angelo's kids break that rule, I know D'Angelo's gonna pay for it because it's the only rule I have. The kids can do anything in my house. The only thing they cannot do is mess with my Swarovski crystals. That's the only thing nobody can touch because those are not cheap and they're all Disney. So it brings the kids in, but that's the only thing. And I know if these kids broke one, that he would replace it. If he wouldn't, Reese would.
Yeah,
But that's the only one. They can break anything else. They just cannot break these.
They've broken everything but the Swarovski crystals.
Exactly. They know that, so they don't go near it.
You guys know since the beginning of time we've been doing the one thing that we can't do all the way back to Adam and Eve. But what I'm trying to get at is let's rewind back to D'Angelo's first question about having sex at somebody's house. First of all, I feel like D'Angelo was questioning us, Gary, so that he knew if he could trust us to come over to his house and stay. First of all, I feel like that was a tryout.
I gave him my honest answer, and we agreed. So
look. I don't have a problem with either one of y'all having sex in my house. Just be respectful, man. Don't be all loud and shit in there, man.
Well,
like,
how I
gotta
know he
answer
doesn't
questions.
mind is because I sleep in his basement and I sleep naked. So
naked as hell.
He hates that.
I'm talking about like no clothes on at all. Just like, man, you need to probably take a shower, man, before you get on the couch.
So my question is, D, what if you said, all right, I got a rule. You can be naked in the basement, but just don't come upstairs. Don't come upstairs naked. Let's just say for the sake of it, the kids are going, at the grandparents' house or something, because obviously that would make it a little bit strange. But say it's just you and the wife walking around, and Gary's like, oh, I ain't hurting nobody walking around naked. I'm going to walk around naked anyways.
I personally wouldn't do that. It's their house.
Hey.
But that's his car. That's his car. He don't want you to eat in it.
No, but I would still sleep naked. If he told me I couldn't sleep naked, I'm sleeping naked. You could say it all you want. I'm still going to do it. You ain't going to be there sleeping next to me, so it ain't going to matter.
That's what I'm saying. You're not asking for permission. You just trying to see how you going to form this lie when they ask you. That's all you doing. You just got to know how good this lie got to be when they ask you. Like, hey, bro, was you down there naked? Nah, man, I had clothes on. If you can't confirm it, you deny it.
But here's what I was asking about do you know if, like, has he always been a car person, or is there some reason why his car is like meaningful to him, or what? Because some people.
He like I said, he doesn't even let his godchildren come to his house.
Oh, he's somewhat of a neat freak. I'm not even gonna lie. He want to make sure everything's clean, it's where it's supposed to be, stuff like that. And I know this. I know this about him, but at the same time, I'm not gonna not be me. I'm not gonna not eat because you got a OCD obsession with being clean. I'm hungry. Like, if you was hungry, I would expect you to do the same thing. So again, and I say this with all the utmost respect for him, but fuck him. I do. I'm eating in his car.
And the funny thing is, he would do the same thing if D'Angelo made a rule. He would do the same exact thing to D, because that's just their relationship. That's how me and D's relationship are. I can make a rule for him. It don't matter. D's gonna do what he wants. Just like if he makes one for me, I'm gonna do what I want.
Right.
100%. Like when we go out to eat, it bothers me that Gary will get 2 or 3 entrees just to taste it, not to eat it. Just to taste it. And I tell him, I was like, dude, I hate when you do that stupid stuff, bro. Like, stop doing that. And he does it every time. And he know I absolutely hate it. It drives me insane just to taste it. Like, oh, okay, I like that.
But
He'll eat it. But if he don't like it, he'll just sit there.
As D'Angelo said, I'm grown.
Right. He grown. Yeah. He got to do his own thing.
It's not my fault that it was your turn to pay. Like, I can't help that.
That's one of the main reasons too, because I'm paying for it. But I do want to get your thoughts on this, guys, since I am the only ethnic person on this podcast. So I want to talk.
1.5.
Guys,
thank you. 1.5%.
That shit don't count. You got to be more than 3, man. For it to count.
It was more than 1 until I came back 1.5, and then it went to 3. I like how that happens.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about Juneteenth, man. What do you guys think about that? I've had a lot of conversation about it at my house. I don't know if you guys have had much in your house because, you guys are not as dark as I am. So it may not mean the same thing to y'all as it mean to me, but just want to get your thoughts on Juneteenth, it becoming a federal holiday, and then we can move on since we've talked about everything else on this podcast. And do you even understand Juneteenth as it sits? Because I've had this conversation a few times in the house. I want to have it right now.
So I think it is absolutely ridiculous that any of the senators tried to block it being a holiday, a federal holiday. To me, it does not make sense. It is something that it's common sense should be a federal holiday. Like they have so many different federal holidays for everything, for so many different things. Some of it doesn't make sense. They get days off. This is something that is truly meaningful and should have it. So the fact that there was even senators that tried to deny it, I know there was only a few, but they voted against it. It just blows my mind that was even an option. But that's things we have in everything in our world. We have people that get upset about so many things. I'll bring up another issue that I had that I saw over the weekend, but this is after we finish this conversation. But yeah, I definitely think it should be, because I think it's a big aspect. It's something that definitely needs to be more attention brought to, and it should be a federal holiday.
What about you, Tom?
Oh yeah, I don't think without a doubt, it should be recognized just because it is so important to a large people group. So, I don't know what the issue was, but much like the original, because the Emancipation Proclamation was a couple years before the Juneteenth, official date, where I guess Texas was the last ones to hold out with the slavery. So it's like it seems like you're always going to have those people that just aren't ready to accept, certain things. And, with the whole Juneteenth, some people look at it as, a political agenda, or, it's kind of like on the same track of when people were, mixing up Black Lives Matter, the message / movement with the group, and not being able to be on board with understanding, what it actually means. And so I think that's what you're dealing with here with people pushing back. Is like people don't want to feel like they're giving in to whatever they think the Juneteenth political movement is about, instead of just getting to the heart of it. This is when a certain group of people officially were free in this country.
Right. And just to let you guys know, our listeners know that if you don't know what Juneteenth is, January 1st, 1869, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation to free all enslaved to rebellious states. Right. It's been arguments on why he did it, him being a good guy, or whether he did it to weaken the South forces against the North in order to take control of it. We don't know. Well, in June 19th of that same year is when Texas, apparently everybody got the word, but the people in Texas. The people in Texas didn't want to release their stronghold on their slaves. And then on June 19th, 1869, that's when they found out, like, oh, we're free. And so that sprung up Juneteenth, which everybody in this country was presumably free at the time. And that's what Juneteenth is about. I don't know if you knew that, Gary. I don't know if you knew that, Tom, or the listeners. I just wanted to make sure that they knew that. But we can go ahead and we can switch gears, Tom.
Yeah, so no, I had something real quick. So it plays a little bit into the aspect of what Time was saying, how people always have an issue with something. And I don't know why some things people have an issue with, but did y'all see the stuff with Lin-Manuel Miranda's new movie?
No, what you got?
So he made it, obviously, the In the Heights was a musical he created, came out, and he has a black lead, and it's all Latino cast. Well, people came out and said he didn't have enough Afro-Latinos in the movie, and were hating on him. But we're talking about a guy who has done so much for all people of color, and he had black actors and Latino actors playing presidents that were white in the hit play Hamilton, but he's getting all this hate for it. He had to issue an apology. He didn't have to. He issued an apology saying he hurt everybody and he's sorry there wasn't more representation. But this movie was a full Latino with a black lead in it, and people are hating on him for it. I don't understand why there's hate on some things, especially for somebody like him who's done so much for all people of all colors. Like, I just don't understand why there's that out there. Why somebody who's doing so good is getting so much hate for something that he's doing positive with. Like,
Well,
it just blows my mind.
So people make a decision on whether or not they want to see you from the surface, or if they want to see just how deep your roots run. So there's two type of people: the people that want to see how deep your roots run, versus the people that just clearly want to see you for surface things. The people that want to see you as surface things don't know that all the stuff that he's done for all the Latinos, the blacks, or whatever the case may be, the whites, or whatever select group of people that they feel like they marginalize. Well, when they go back and they dig through their roots and they've already came out and said, hey, we don't like what it is that we like, they kind of got to stick to their guns. It's 2021. When you say something, you got to be wholeheartedly with it. You can't be sometimes with it and sometime against it, depending on, you can't be situational. You either for it, against it, and people hold your feet to the fire. You can't be both. And so because of that, it always seemed that people are riding, both sides to the fence, if you will. But I get what you're saying. I think it's crazy, but
yeah, like I don't know why he had to issue an apology. Why he felt he needed to issue an apology when he's done so much. That's the thing that bothers me. Is like it's like you're just, hey, I got to issue an apology so I don't get all this backlash. But why are you getting the backlash? You shouldn't be getting any backlash anyway. So I feel like you're just caving to a very small group that's raising a lot of noise for nothing. I feel like you shouldn't have to do that. That's the thing that kills me, is I just don't understand why people are apologizing for things like that when there's nothing to apologize for.
So I gotta be honest with you, Gary. I gotta make sure I let you know that I subscribe to this. And I had this conversation in time. We can end the podcast after this, and this is just me, my honest opinion. And I know that it's probably gonna get me ripped up for it, but this is truly how I feel. We got on the conversation of kids getting suspended from school, whether it's high school or whether it's college, for doing things not on school campus. I do not agree with that. I do not agree that, whether it's saying a racial slur or anything like that in the comfort of your own home, I don't think it should get you expelled from your schooling, whether it's high school or whether it's college, because you didn't do it there. But now it's one of those things where they say you represent the place that you attend. And it's crazy to me because, I was reading a story about a high school where a guy got into a fight, or a kid got into a fight with another kid. Wasn't on school campus. It was another kid. Wasn't on school campus. Wasn't at a bus stop. It wasn't on school property or related at all. Got into a fight, and then he got suspended from school. I was like, what? That makes no sense. It's stupid. But just all these rules that are associated with it. So I don't subscribe to those type of things. So when you said what you said, it's tough for me because, it kind of happened on the job, but it didn't. But I don't think he should be faulted for it because it's his past philanthropy with said group that they said he marginalizing.
Well, but he did though. The lead was a black Latino. That's the lead of the movie. And they just said they didn't have enough of them. Like, everybody else in the film is Latino. Like, I don't know. For me, he's done so much. I just don't understand the hate, I guess. But like you said, somebody has to find, well, I know time is it. You got to find somebody. They're always finding something to be mad about, whether it has anything to do with anything. People just nowadays, especially with social media, they got to be mad about something, and they got to get a chance to talk about it. Whether it actually means anything or not, people are just mad about everything nowadays.
Yeah, but you get that opportunity though, man. You live this long, Gary, and you've experienced what you've experienced. You're gonna be grumpy and pissed off and mad about something. At this point in your life, man, because I was talking to my father-in-law and we had this conversation because I I was like, damn, man, you complain about everything. He was like, yeah, it was a point where, nothing bothered me. But then you get to an age now where it's just like, hell, you sitting out here too long bother me. I said, damn. But it just makes sense. So everybody's at that age now, been in this pandemic where they just like, dude, so like it's just like you being at home with your father or your mother or somebody in the room. You in there for too long. You just like, damn, man, why don't you leave? Go somewhere. Well, that's what the pandemic is doing to us right now. We're staying at home and we're grumpy as hell, and we don't get an opportunity to tell the people that we're in the house how we feel. So we lash out on social media. We got to find something that we don't like there because we can't win and lose all these battles at the house. We got to win somewhere. So we taking it to social media. We taking our fight there.
So what you're saying, you're telling me since everything's opening back up finally, you're telling me all that's going to stop?
I'm not saying it's going I think it's going to taper down for sure. It's 100% going to taper down. And that's just my opinion. It's just we just got to get in our groove. But I'm telling you right now, I caught myself doing it the other day. Like I was scrolling through like Twitter and I was just answering people back that wasn't even talking to me. And it was like upsetting me. And I'm just like, calm down, take a breath. You're acting like the majority of the people that are acting in 2021. You need to get your shit together. I checked myself and I came back as me. I didn't apologize. I just kind of act like it wasn't me that sent those messages. That's what we do in 2021.
Right. And, unfortunately, I think that's the cancel culture that we live in where, I do believe there is lots of strides to be made as far as equality and, we're getting better slowly, but eventually, trying to make everybody happy every single time that you do something is going to wear you out because you just can't, because people don't think the same. People don't have the same values. So you're never going to make 100% of the people happy with what you're doing. And I don't know if you guys have watched The Heights, but I watched that movie. I thought it was a great movie. Obviously, I don't know much about that Heights culture. I'm not from New York. I never lived there. I'm a white guy. But I felt like they did a great job of portraying, the diversity of culture that does live in that area. But again, like I said, I don't know for sure because I'm not from the Heights, but, it was a very culturally diverse movie. And like Gary said, when you're someone that's always trying to push that into the forefront, I don't see why now you're getting attacked for this. And it's just confusing. And it just makes, it's the moments like that where, you feel like people that you're on their side or on their team, but then they turn on you because you don't do it exactly how they would or how they want you to, and it's just like, it's pretty crazy that can happen. And, I kind of feel your pain, D'Angelo, as far as you talking about when you get online and you feel like you just have to respond to all this hate and criticisms and stuff like that, because that's the day in the life of a LeBron fan. But let me talk to y'all real quick.
Don't you do this. Don't you do this. It's over with. It's over. We're not talking about KD and the Brooklyn Nets. We are not talking about any of that. We are getting off this podcast. We out. We thank y'all for joining us. We are not having this conversation. We are not having this debate. We have never, ever compared KD and LeBron and Kyrie Irving and all of that. We just talking about having supporting cast, not having supporting cast. There's nothing there to talk about. In fact, Tom, mute. In fact, mute that ass. Yes. So Gary, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We hope you have a beautiful Monday morning and Monday evening and a great work week, and we'll see y'all back next week. We out.
You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage. You are now listening to